What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are actually going to continue our coverage over Secret Invasion. Yes, we are. Now, when it comes to Secret Invasion, you have to remember that we are covering the 2008 version, not the latest version to come out along with the Disney Plus TV show with Samuel L. Jackson. We're covering the old version. Now, with that being said, when it comes to Secret Invasion, you have to remember that it was Marvel's bright idea to try something new with the Skrulls, this alien race that has the ability to actually shapeshift. Now, with that ability, they begin to go around the earth and kidnap people. Now, the people they did kidnap, they did replace with fellow Skrulls. And then those fellow Skrulls began to pretend to be those people as the way to begin a secret invasion to bring down the Earth defenses, so that when it came time for a full-on invasion, the Earth is left defenseless. And so that is what Secret Invasion is all about. Now, the reason why the Skrulls are doing this is for two particular reasons. The first is that, well, one of their prophecies told them that the Earth would be theirs one day. And the second reason is because of the Illuminati, because the Illuminati decided to attack the home world of the Skrulls, and that really ticked off the Skrulls a whole lot more. And so those are the two reasons why the Skrulls are attacking the Earth, trying to take over the Earth. And so that is all about Secret Invasion. Now, something else to mention is that when it came to Skrulls going around kidnapping people and then pretending to be those people, they really took over important roles across different kinds of organizations. So, for example, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the governments across the world. And so when in our coverage over the main storyline and also some of the tie-ins, we began to learn which hero was actually replaced. Like, for example, Spider-Woman. She was replaced by the Queen of the Skrulls. Hank Pym is another character that was replaced. And we're going to see more characters in this video who are going to find out they were actually replaced by the Skrulls. But let's go ahead and dive into today's video. We're going to cover two more issues of the main storyline and one tie-in as well from Mighty Avengers to kind of give us more ideas of what the future to come for Marvel Comics after this event. And so to begin our coverage, we actually do pick up with Secret Invasion number 5. Now, when we do, we actually do pick up with the Thunderbolts. Now, remember, by this point, when it came to the Thunderbolts, they're being led by Norman Osborn. And this was his first version of his team. And matter of fact, if you do want to learn more about the Thunderbolts, I do have an entire playlist that does cover when Norman Osborn was in charge of the Thunderbolts. Now, with that being said, though, right now, they're trying to deal with Captain Marvel because their base was attacked by Captain Marvel. Now, if you saw our earlier videos, you already know that this is not actually Captain Marvel. This is a Skrull that was technically changed to look like Captain Marvel. Now, the thing is about this particular Skrull is he actually believes that he is Captain Marvel, that technically he was a sleeper agent. But even though now he knows his origin story, that he is a Skrull, he's having a hard time deciding who he wants to be, a Skrull or Captain Marvel, because his mind has been modified so much into believing that he is Captain Marvel, he wants to be a hero for Earth. Now, you do have Norman Osborn actually talking to him, which honestly is kind of crazy because it shows that Norman Osborn does understand what this guy is actually going through, trying to decide who he is, because right now he has two different kinds of identities, kind of like Norman Osborn does with the Green Goblin and Norman Osborn. And so Norman is able to kind of talk to this guy and calm him down, but you didn't have this fake Captain Marvel leave to hopefully think more about what he should do as Captain Marvel. And so that is the moment where we actually pick up with Nick Fury. Now, when we do, this is Nick Fury right now alongside with his superhero team known as the Secret Warriors and also the Young Avengers. Now, when it comes to the Secret Warriors, they were basically a team of characters that Nick Fury collected, and I hate saying collected, but technically he did collect because he only knew about these characters. No one else did. And so he decided that he needed a team for himself that was technically off the books. Hence the name Secret Warriors. Now, in the earlier parts of the series of Secret Invasion, we saw the Secret Warriors, along with Nick Fury, being able to save the Young Avengers. Now, after doing that, they came back to his base. And luckily for them, they came back to his base right on time. And the reason why? Because right now you have the Skrulls broadcasting a message all over the world. Now, when it comes to this message, it's really the Skrulls saying, hey guys, listen. We're not here to kill you off. We're not here to blow your Earth up. We're actually here to take over your world, but at the same time, to help you guys out, because we have been watching the human race and we realize something. When it comes to the human race, it is a dying race. You're always fighting against one another. Your diseases are never getting cured. You're technically a dying race, and we're here to actually help you guys and lead you guys in the right direction, and to tell you guys that you are going to join the Skrulls Empire. It's them sending that message on every single kind of media source, TV, internet, whatever they could do, radio. They're saying across the world right now. So humans will go ahead and give up, because right now the Skrulls are saying, we have technically won already. We have defeated your heroes, the Avengers, Fantastic Four. They're all gone. It's now just you guys, and you guys should go ahead and give up. But that is the moment where we actually pick up with Abigail Brand. Now remember, when it comes to Abigail Brand, she is technically a mutant. Now, before we are able to dive into her mutant ability, I do want to say one more thing. When it comes to Abigail Brand, actually, she is the leader of SWORD. Now, when it comes to SWORD, SWORD is just like S.H.I.E.L.D., except they protect the Earth from any kind of space attacks, which honestly right now, they have failed at that mission. Now, with that being said, in the earlier parts of our coverage over Secret Invasion, we saw Abigail Brand's spaceship get blown up, her SWORD base. Now, after that, she was technically just floating in space, but luckily for her, she was able to float onto a Skrull spaceship. Now, when she got on that spaceship, she did begin to walk around, but then she was cornered. And here's the problem. It did look like she was going to be captured, but luckily for her, she did not get captured. And the reason why? Because of her mutant ability. Because when it comes to Abigail Brand, she has the ability to speak any language across the universe. And so right now, she's speaking the Skrulls' language. Now, when it comes to the Skrulls, they actually believe that she is a Skrull. And the reason why? Because remember, right now, the Skrulls are pulling off their secret invasion, where technically a bunch of Skrulls went down to Earth. They kidnapped people and replaced those people and used their shapeshift abilities to look like those people. And so right now, they believe that Abigail Brand is just another Skrull that has shapeshift into this form. And so at first, they do believe that she is a Skrull. But the thing is, she's not a Skrull. And so once she's able to get close enough, she then attacks these other two Skrulls, and then she begins to attack the entire spaceship. Now, when she does, she's able to find Reed Richards. And guys, remember, he was captured at the very beginning of the main storyline for Secret Invasion. But this is her now releasing him. And that right there is going to be a problem for the Skrulls. Because when it comes to Reed Richards, he is one of the most powerful threats on Earth. He could technically take out the Skrulls by himself if he wanted to. And so right now, it's technically him coming back into the picture to win the day for the heroes. And so that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Maria Hill. Now, when we do, we have to remember that Maria Hill is technically second in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. right after Tony Stark, because after Civil War, the American government put Tony in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, with that being said, though, when it came to Maria Hill, she was actually riding one of the helicarriers that S.H.I.E.L.D. has. Now, on top of that, though, her helicarrier helicarrier did fall out of the sky. And the reason why it fell out of the sky is because of Tony Stark's computer system. Because let me explain, when it came to Tony Stark, he gave a lot of different things on Earth his great Tony Stark computer system. They were all connected into one big system. But when the Skrulls began their secret invasion, they didn't upload an alien virus to Tony Stark's computer system. And so anything that was on Tony Stark's system is now technically pointless, like the helicarriers, like Maria Hill helicarrier. And so it fell out of the sky. Now, once it did, she was confronted by Jarvis. Now, remember, Jarvis is usually the butler to Tony Stark. But that was the moment we came to find out that this is not Jarvis. This is a Skrull. And right now, he's trying to have her give up. But here's the thing about Maria Hill, because she did have a meeting with Nick Fury. Now, when she had this meeting with Nick Fury, he told her, hey, listen, if you're going to be in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., you need to have life model decoys just in case you have to go somewhere and you don't feel like the place you're going to is going to be safe. And so with that being said, the Maria Hill we have right now right here is actually a life model decoy. And so when it comes to this Skrull Jarvis, who's right now believing he has Maria Hill right in his grasp, he comes to find out he doesn't. It's a life model decoy. The real Maria Hill is right now getting away, and she does blow up the helicarrier, killing off a lot of Skrulls that were on that helicarrier trying to take her down. And so that is the moment where we actually jump over to Reed Richards. Now, when we do, this is a huge moment. And the reason why, because it's Reed right now showing us why he is such a powerful threat. His mind, because this man has the ability to actually make something that can help the humans win, which is they now have the ability to detect Skrulls on Earth thanks to his device. Because remember, in the earlier parts of Secret Invasion, the Skrulls made sure that humans could not detect them at all. And so they had all their bases covered. Now, with that being said, though, here's Reed right now saying, don't worry, I found a new way. And with this way right here, we can now figure out who is a Skrull and who is not a Skrull. Now, when it comes to Reed, he wants to go back to the Baxter building, his home, to make sure his family is okay. But you have Abigail Brand say, dude, listen, your family, I'm sorry, that sucks. But right now, the entire Earth needs you. And we need to go get the Avengers to get them to save the Earth. So right now, your family is going to be on the back burner. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up in the Savage Land. Now, when we do pick up in the Savage Land, this is going to lead into a very sad moment. And the reason why I'm saying that, guys, is because we do pick up with Tony Stark, Black Widow, and Wolverine. Now, you do have Tony Stark right now not feeling well, and the reason why, because he was infected by the alien virus thanks to his Iron Man suit also being connected to his computer system. Now, right now, you do have Black Widow and Wolverine trying to get him out of here, but unfortunately, they are confronted by Spider-Man, Kazar, and Shannon. Now, the reason why I say unfortunately, because remember, the big question about Secret Invasion is that who can you trust? Who can you actually trust? That is something very important to actually mention. And the reason why, because remember, the Skrulls do have shapeshift abilities. They can change their appearances. And so right now for Black Widow, Wolverine, and Tony, they have no idea if this is Spider-Man, Kazar, and Shannon. Now we know it is because we covered some tie-ins that follow those characters. Now, that is the moment you do have more folks appear, like Clint Barton and Mockingbird. And this leads into a very sad moment. And the reason why, because we have to remember, when it comes to Clint Barton and Mockingbird, they used to be married, but then got divorced and she died. Now, in the earlier parts of Secret Invasion, though, a spaceship did crash in the Savage Land, and you did have a bunch of heroes appear off that spaceship. Now, of course, the question is, though, were they Skrulls or actually real people? Now, when it came to Mockingbird, she was one of those characters that appeared off the spaceship. And so for Clint Barton, he believes that he got his wife back because he did ask Mockingbird one particular question that no one else should be able to answer except him and Mockingbird. And of course, it is about the death of their child. She was pregnant, but then she lost the baby. Not she, they lost the baby. And so when they lost the baby, that was their secret to one another, and that is it. And so when he asked this Mockingbird right here that question, she was able to answer that question. And when she did, Clint Barton actually believed that she was Mockingbird. And this is the very sad moment. Because you have Reed appear, and when Reed does appear, he does use his device. And remember, his device does show everyone who is human and who is a Skrull. And when it comes to Mockingbird, she is a Skrull. It was a hardcore trick on the Skrulls on Clint Barton. And so he does get angry. And so when our heroes are able to take out the Skrulls in this area, you have Clint Barton say, I want to kill them all, because this man really believed that he had his wife back and he lost his wife technically all over again. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Mighty Avengers number 19, a tie-in. Now, it's going to focus on one particular character, really two characters, but one of those characters is going to die and help change another character. Now, we do pick up with Marvel Boy. Now remember, at this point in Marvel Comics, Marvel Boy was actually a bad guy. Now he will become a good guy thanks to this book right here. But right now, you do have him trying to call out for help. Because remember, when it came to Marvel Boy, he is a Kree. And he came to Earth to kill off the human race for the Kree, his alien race. Now with that being said though, he was stopped and he was locked up. Now, the Illuminati came to him and said, you have two choices. Be a bad guy and stay in here forever, or be a good guy, get out of here and help us protect the Earth. Now, of course, when it came to Marvel Boy, he said, no, I am going to be a bad guy. I'm going to stay here. Now, at this point in our coverage over Secret Invasion, he has taken over the prison that he was kept in. But right now, he's trying to call out for help. He's trying to call the Kree, his alien race. Say, hey guys, I'm on Earth. Come here and help me out, please. I'm stuck here with no way off this planet. Because he came to Earth to kill off the humans for the Kree. Now, with that being said, that is also the moment he comes to find out that Captain Marvel is alive. Because right now the news is saying that, oh my gosh, Captain Marvel's alive again. But we already know this is not Captain Marvel. It's a Skrull that believes that he is Captain Marvel. Either way, for Marvel Boy, he's very concerned because he feels like this is the real Captain Marvel. And on top of that, he knows when it comes to Captain Marvel, he was a celebrated hero on Earth, which means that if he finds out about Marvel Boy, he might come after Marvel Boy. He already knows there's no way he'll be able to stop this Captain Marvel. And so he is very concerned about his future. And so then we jump over to the fake Captain Marvel. Now, when we do, the guy is still struggling right now. And what I mean by that, he has no idea which part of him is true. Is he a Skrull? Is he a Kree? Is he Captain Marvel? And right now, he has no idea which to believe. Because right now, the way he looks, he is Captain Marvel. But on top of that, when it comes to his memories, they're all Captain Marvel memories. But at the same time, his Skrull ones are coming in very, very slowly. And so it's him right now believing, oh my gosh, I may be a Skrull. But at the same time, he's wondering it could be another trick by the Skrulls. And so right now, he's having a hard time believing who he is, because he also just keeps replaying the memories of the original Captain Marvel. But while he's flying around, that is the moment he is attacked out of nowhere. And we come to find out that he's been attacked by his own fellow Skrulls. Now, the reason why the Skrulls are doing this because they realize this Skrull right here, this Captain Marvel Skrull, is someone they can no longer trust, someone they can no longer use. And so right now, you do have these fellow Skrulls, these super Skrulls, trying to take him down. Now, here's the problem, though. This is a Skrull that has the powers of Captain Marvel, which means that he is a powerhouse. He's not someone that can be easily stopped. And so even though you have these other Skrulls right now just trying their best to stop him, they're having a hard time. They're getting their butt kicked. Matter of fact, they're dying because this is a Captain Marvel Skrull, a very powerful one. But while he's technically killing off his fellow Skrulls, he's right now kind of believing more and more that he is Captain Marvel, that he was sent here to protect the Earth. Not sent here, but he came here. Now, he kind of has an idea that he's not Captain Marvel, but at the same time, he still believes he is. It's kind of weird because in some panels he knows, yeah, I'm not Captain Marvel, I'm a Skrull. But at the same time, he's like, yeah, I am Captain Marvel. His mind is going back and forth. Either way, this dude does go on a rampage on Earth, killing off a bunch of Skrulls. Now, this leads into the sad ending for today's video. And what I mean by that is you do have this fake Captain Marvel go to the sky, really space, sorry, and he begins to attack more spaceships that belong to the Skrulls. Now, when he does that, of course, they're trying to bring him down. They're trying to stop him. But unfortunately, they can't stop him. They made him a powerhouse, and so here he is, being a powerhouse. This is one of the many mistakes the Skrulls had actually made when it came to their secret invasion. Now, while he's fighting in space, blowing up spaceships left and right, he is confronted by more super Skrulls. Now, as the battle goes on, the more damage he takes, and with the damage he takes, the quicker he is to his death. He begins to die to the point where he does enough damage to the Skrulls, he begins to fall out of the sky. And when he does fall out of the sky, he begins to remember everything about Captain Marvel's life. And this is him again believing that he is actually Captain Marvel. Now, when he does crash on the ground, he does crash right near Marvel Boy. Now, when he does, this leads into a very important conversation with Marvel Boy. And this conversation actually happens in Secret Invasion number 6. And so then we jump over to Secret Invasion number 6, where we actually pick up with the conversation between Marvel Boy and Captain Marvel. Now, when it comes to their conversation, this is really more of Captain Marvel dying, the fake Captain Marvel. He is now dying and goodbye to him. But before he actually dies, he does have a conversation with Marvel Boy, where he does tell Marvel Boy that he had learned so much when it came to living on Earth. Now remember, this Captain Marvel believes that he is the real Captain Marvel, but he's not. But because he does believe that, he's telling Marvel Boy, you were sent here for a reason. You came here to most likely take my place. When it comes to the humans or the Kree, they have honor in what they do. They are great people. But when it comes to the Skrulls, they are not great at all. They have no honor. And so this is me telling you that if you are a Kree, Marvel Boy, you were sent here to Earth for a reason, to help out the human race. And then he dies. And when he dies, he turns back into his Skrull form. And so then getting back into that broadcast that's being played over the entire world right now is the Skrulls trying to continue the idea of telling humans to go ahead and give up. Because to them, at this point, they have already won. Who can stop them? No one can. They have technically won the war. Earth is now theirs. And if anybody's out there trying to fight against us still, please go ahead and give up. Because we know for sure you are going to die without actually being able to accomplish anything. And so right now we're telling you, give up before you actually die. Now, with that being said, though, It's the Skrulls trying to have the public go against the heroes. And you see what I mean here in a moment, because Skrulls are also saying, look at your race. You guys always have wars between each other left and right. You have diseases out there that have not been cured left and right. You have folks dying from crazy things left and right. So here we are trying to help you guys, but to also add you guys into our empire. And with them saying that right there, the public is going to play a small role in this section right here. But that is the moment where we actually jump over to a camp. Now, this camp does belong to the Skrulls. Now, here is something very important about this camp, because right now you have a bunch of Skrulls reporting to Hank Pym. Now, let's not forget though, guys, this is not Hank Pym. This is a Skrull that had replaced Hank Pym and pretending to be Hank Pym to help the Skrulls win this invasion. Now, with that being said, of course, this Hank Pym right now is getting updates about what's happening all over the world. And technically right now, it seems like the Skrulls have won the war. The world is there. Earth is theirs. Nothing can no longer stay in their way. Except you didn't have a Skrull say, well, we do got one problem, which is the Savage Land. Because right now, a bunch of Avengers are still out there right now fighting against the forces of ours in the Savage Land, and we have not heard back from them. But again, to this Hank Pym, this fake Hank Pym, he still believes they have won the war. The world is theirs now to control. Now, that is the moment you have Jessica Drew appear. And let's not forget, this is not Jessica Drew. This is actually the queen of the Skrulls, Varanki, who's right now pretending to be Spider-Woman. But here's the big thing though. Right now, she's telling Hank Pym and the rest of the Skrulls that they have technically won. The Savage Land was a loss, but here's the thing. They do have a secret weapon to kill off the rest of the heroes so that they'll be able to technically take over the Earth. And that secret weapon is actually the Wasp. And you see what I mean down the road. And so then we jump over to the heroes who were in the Savage Land. And right now, they're making their way back over to New York. Now, on their way there right now, they're trying to figure out how bad New York is, because they left New York defenseless. I mean, yes, there are other heroes in New York, but not enough heroes to actually protect New York. And when it comes to New York in Marvel Comics, it's always ground zero. Like literally, anytime something big happens, it always starts in New York or it's going to end in New York. Either way, right now, they're trying to get back to New York by using a Skrull spaceship as a way to travel from the Savage Land over to New York. Now, on their way there, they're wondering how bad it is. But when they arrive, they see how bad New York was hit by the Skrulls. And it was hit pretty bad. And so now the Avengers know New York was hit pretty hard. Now, remember what I said earlier, that you right now have the Skrulls out there telling the human race to give up. And the reason why, because they'll be able to actually save the human race and stop the wars on Earth, to basically cure all diseases on Earth. And so right now, you actually do have a small crowd of people who are believing in what the Skrulls are actually saying like, hey, we should go ahead and welcome them to Earth. Give the Earth over to them so that they can make the Earth better. Like right now, they are believing what the Skrulls are actually saying, even though the Skrulls are technically lying. I got dying and lying confused. Sorry, guys. Either way, right now, the Skrulls are lying. They are lying hardcore, but the public, the ones who want to end all war across the world, to cure all diseases across the world, to fix all the problems Earth has, and the Skrulls saying, we can do that for you, they are now believing in the Skrulls, until you have some Super Skrulls who are more aggressive try to attack that same group of people in New York. And so getting back to the heroes, they do arrive in New York, but not just the heroes. You do have Nick Fury and his Secret Warriors and the Young Avengers. They also arrive back into New York. You also have the Thunderbolts, Norman Osborn team also arriving into New York. You also have the Hood and his bad guy group. They also arrived to New York. You have all these different groups of characters all coming back to New York for one big final battle against the Skrulls. Now, with that being said, that is also the moment you have Thor appear. Now, when he appears, apparently to Varanki, the queen of the Skrulls, in one of her prophecies, it was told that Thor was going to appear, the god of thunder. And so right now, it's her still believing that, yes, we can still win this. If that happened right there, that is proof again that our prophecies are actually telling the truth about our future. Now, at the same time, that is the moment we have a new Captain America at this point in Marvel Comics. Because remember, Steve Rogers died. He died back at the end of Civil War, or really right after Civil War, but he died. And so to replace him, we did have the Punisher and Hawkeye, but then at the end, we got Bucky. Bucky is Captain America at this point in Marvel Comics, and the heroes are just finding out about that, but for right now, they have to trust him, that he'll be a good Captain America, but at the same time, they need his help to fight against the Skrulls. And so right now, it's time for one final battle. And so we then reach the point where you have both sides go to a battlefield, which honestly seems to be the park in the middle of New York. Either way, you have the Avengers, Fantastic Four, well, just read. You also have the Young Avengers, Nick Fury, the Secret Warriors. You also have the Thunderbolts. You even have the bad guys who work for the Hood. Everybody is here right now to fight against the Skrulls, and this is huge. But on top of that, right now, you have Reed say, listen, you are a liar. You're telling the world right now that you guys are here to actually help us, but you're not here to help us. You're here to kill us off and take over our Earth. And you have Ranky, the queen of the Skrulls, say, yes, that is true. We are here to kill you off. But it makes it easier for us if we have the rest of your people believe that we are actually here to help you guys. But in reality, once you guys are gone, we'll take care of the rest of the humans. And then the Earth is ours. And we are going to use everything you guys built to destroy what you built. And so with that being said, it leads into a final battle. You have the Skrulls and the heroes fighting against one another. And this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So guys, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.